Hello YouTube, I'm Dr. Tactical, and the doctor will see you now. Welcome back to the channel. So today we've got a tough topic. But you know what? I actually didn't have as hard a time with it as I thought I was going to once I really thought about it. So the question here is, what is the one gun that I feel that everybody who takes guns seriously should own? Everybody who has some type of a collection, what is a gun that I think belongs there? Again, there's going to be some controversy here, but I didn't have trouble coming up with the final answer on this. Before we get into it, real quickly, those of you who have subscribed, I really want to thank you. Those of you who haven't, please consider doing so. All you got to do is push the little button down there somewhere. What that does is a couple things. One, it helps the channel, but it also helps guns in general, gun knowledge. It helps show YouTube that people are interested, that people are subscribing, and as the numbers get bigger, you know, they can't deny numbers. They need to know that we're not just a small group, that we're a large group. And personally, I thank you for any subscribers that come. I try to subscribe to pretty much every gun channel I come across because I want to support you know, the gun community as much as possible. All right, now on to today's question. Now, oh, one other thing. Please feel free to comment. I know people are going to have strong opinions on this. I expect you to have strong opinions, and I am interested to hear. I know that in one of my previous videos, one of the things that I had out had my had our email here at Dr. Tactical, and a couple people had utilized it. If there's something that you want to reach out to me directly without going through the comments section below, you don't want to get lambasted, or you want to just ask something, I try my best to respond to it. The email is Dr. D-O-C-T-O-R Tactical, T-A-C-T-I-C-A-L, email, E-M-A-I-L, at gmail.com. So feel free to use that too. But I really appreciate the comments that come below because it's actually valuable to see conversations and people responses. Some are less valuable than others, but you know what? It is what it is. Use it. It's there for us. Okay, now on to today's question. I have brought here several guns that have been on the channel before that I have spoken well about. You know, some I've had some issues with, but overall, these are guns that I liked. I've got plenty more that haven't made it up here yet, but obviously I felt strongly enough about them to introduce them to. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on each and every one of them. I'm going to sort of go through them though, and then we'll get to the gun that I feel is the gun that everybody should have. All right, first, Glock 19. I am pretty positive that a lot of you are thinking, or were thinking to yourself, Glock 19, that's the gun everybody should have. It's a Glock. It's this is ubiquitous. This has been in the military. It's been a stronghold in the police. It's been a stronghold in civilian defense. It's a carry gun. It's a, by the way, all the guns here have been cleared and safety checked. So when I hold it up for air quotes, nobody needs to panic at home. Also, I don't have a cameraman, so when you see me lining up, there's nobody behind it but you're safe. I promise you're safe. Okay. Lots of aftermarket parts for this. Tons of holsters. It's just a gun that you can if the stuff hits the fan and this is the gun you have, you're in good shape, because if something happens to a part, the chances are better with this gun than any other gun out there, probably, that you'll be able to get parts for it. This is the gun when my mom finally made the decision that she'd get into shooting with me. I made her get. This is the gun I made my father-in-law get. This is the gun that most of my friends who I've introduced to shooting, I've recommended. Now, I have a lot of other friends that are into shooting that think that that's a mistake, that this gun is, its time has come and gone. You know, feel free to comment. I still go out to the range and bring this with me occasionally. I mix it in. I just trust and love this gun. Okay. So now we've got here the Staccato C2. This is a great gun. Can't argue with it. It's a very, very accurate gun. It's got a great trigger, very ergonomic. The only issue I personally have with it from a carry standpoint, again, not really a compact gun. Now, none of the guns up here are micros. I'm not really going into micros today. That's sort of a whole different realm. And micros have a more limited use. So this is a compact. This gun shoots incredibly. It also has a beaver tail, which hurts really bad because I'm fat. And every holster that I've played with, I still get poked either if I do appendix or if I do strong side. So any holster manufacturers or anybody out there who wants to send some product for me to evaluate and try, please feel free. I'm happy to do it. However, I will give an honest evaluation, just a warning. If you go through some of my previous videos, you'll see I've had some people who were a little concerned with some of the things I said about their products. So I absolutely do want products, but I will be honest about my opinion on them. Okay. We have here the Glock P229, single action only, SAO. This is the Legion. I freaking love this gun. I love it. You've seen videos on it. I have almost nothing negative to say, except I haven't found a holster that I like for it yet, that I'm comfortable with. So aside from that, this gun, I shoot this gun better than any other gun I shoot. It came with the Romeo 1 Pro. I don't love the Romeo 1 Pro, but I'm shooting great with this. It's been incredibly accurate. I just happen to really like the Holosun that has the Vulcan, the big circle that doesn't show up if you're holding it correctly. Because even though I've gotten really good at finding the red dot right away when drawing, I've practiced it a lot and I've gotten decent at it. But in a really stressful situation, whether it be a beeper going off because I'm competing, or God forbid, a serious self-defense situation, I don't want to hunt for the dot. I want to know I'm going to find the dot. And that Vulcan thing, big circle, is great. But that's minor. And you can put that on here. I just haven't even felt strongly enough because I've been so happy with this setup. This gun is just remarkable. Yet, not the gun I think everybody should have. All right. My friend Lewis's Walther Q4 here, his setup. And he's the one who owns Honey Bear Tactical. Little shout out to him. Anyway, this gun is great. Again, I've had problems playing around with it with finding a good holster that's comfortable. Also, this is a heavy gun. This gun is a steel frame. Shoots unbelievably. The heaviness really does. People say it feels like I'm shooting a 22 and I'm shooting a 9mm. That actually comes into play with this because of the weight of it. It doesn't sound like it though. That's part of the big difference. It's still loud. But this is a great gun and it feels incredible. Anyway, this is really nice. But yet still, sorry Lewis, not the gun that I would make one that everybody should have. As long as we're in the borrowing department. Although this gun's more borders on me having stolen. You guys may have seen it in a couple videos. My friend Michael lent it to me. This is the 229. I'm sorry, the 226. Did I say the other one was a 226 I brought up? The other one was a 229, by the way, in case I missaid that. This is a 229 SAO. This is the 226, and it is a Legion. And it's a double action, single action, so it has the decocker here. This is a great gun. This gun feels wonderful. I mean, these G10 grips are really, really good. And I love it, but it's going back to Michael. And I'll probably buy one at some point. But anyway, it's not a must-have for everybody. This isn't the gun that I'm building to. Walther PDP. Great slide serrations. Really retentive. Really aggressive. I like the grip on it. I like the trigger on. I love the trigger on it. Just an overall great gun. It is a compact. Again, I'm having holster issues with it. I've tried to carry this a couple times. Not super comfortable. Actually, well, I've been very limited, so I've had to use things that I think really weren't designed specifically for it. But a great gun, but not a gun I'd recommend as the gun we must have. The Chiappa Rhino. Well, you guys have seen a couple of videos I've done on this. I love their barrel down low so that you're shooting 357, it's coming back in. You can't get much more reliable, I guess, than a revolver. You're not going to have feeding issues. This is a really very unique gun. I'm not going to go into the details of it because I have 2 different videos out on it. Again, great gun. I enjoy this gun. Had some finish issues with it, but overall, I'm still impressed with this gun. But it's not the gun that everybody needs to have. Canic. This is the Canic. Which one is this? The TP9 SFX. I've got a lot of Canics. I just grabbed this one to represent all Canics. Nice gun, Walther clone trigger. This is a competition version. Relatively, significantly less cost than the value of what you're getting. You're definitely getting a great deal so far with what I've found with Canics. However, not the gun that everybody must have. Okay. I want to say Glock 17. This is actually a Glock 34, but it's representing a Glock 17. I don't own a Glock 17. This is my very first competition gun. I love this gun. I came in dead last with it, which I was very happy about. That was my very first competition ever, and my goal was not to get disqualified. In fact, I remember the whole time going up there, I'm like, don't get disqualified, don't get disqualified, don't get disqualified. And I was so proud of myself. The second time I went out there, I'm like, all right, let's get a score. And I went out and got disqualified. Mark, you were there. You remember. Anyway, so this gun has seen, not the 34 that I'm aware of, but the 17, which is what I'm really talking about, has seen all kinds of military use. It's seen police use. It's just a very tried and true weapon. And I can't say enough positive things about it, but not the gun that I'm saying everybody should have. Okay, Staccato XC. What can I say? I love this gun. I absolutely love this gun. When you rack this gun, with the safety off, when you rack this gun, oh my God. It's like butter. This is just a wonderful gun. Beautiful trigger. Love this gun. Not the gun that everybody needs to have, though. No, not the gun everybody needs to have. However, a word of warning. Everybody who owns an XC, it started with somebody else saying, hey, you should try this. Be careful. If somebody turns to you, where is it, and says, hey, you should try this out. Unless you've got an extra, almost $5,000 lying around, do not take that gun from that person, because you'll have one. All right. Another 229. This is the 229 Zev. This also has the Romeo Pro on it. Same opinion as the other. This is a single action only. This has phenomenal G10 grips. Again, this is one of those ones that I was at the Elite Firearms. They handed it to me. I put it in my hand, so I was like, wow, that feels good. Next thing I know, he had my credit card. It was whole long story. Anyway, end of the day, great gun. Had a couple issues with it in the beginning. Watch that video, you'll see. But not the gun that I'm recommending for everybody. The CZ, this is the Shadow 2, the orange. Obviously a competition gun. And it's just got a great action in it. Now it's not, going from the XC to this is hard because that thing's like butter. This normally, if I went to this first, I'd be like, oh, this feels so good. It feels okay. But this is a crazy accurate gun. Unfortunately, I'm not a crazy accurate shooter. But the gun is incredibly capable. And on a good day, for me, this gun really shows itself. Love it. Love this gun. Not for everybody though. And by not for everybody, I mean everybody has to have one gun. What should it be? What's in their collection? This is just a nice gun to have, as all of these are. I'm not showing you any duds today. Let's move this out of the way. Okay, Smith & Wesson revolver. This is not the gun. This is just another nice, reliable gun, tried and true, been around for a long time, and fun to shoot. A lot of fun to shoot. This is a 357 or 38, depending, and it's just a good time. However, and a reliable gun to have, a good self-defense gun, but not the gun that everybody needs to have. Ladies and gentlemen, the gun you've been waiting for. The gun that, according to DoctorTactical, is the gun that every serious gun owner should have in their collection. Not necessarily one that they need to take to the range regularly, not one that even needs to come out of their safe, depending on what they like to shoot. But something that they should own and should be in their armamentarium. Ladies and gentlemen, although mostly gentlemen according to my statistics, but the ladies, you know who you are. Thank you, I appreciate it. By the way, there's going to be some upset people. There'll be some angry people. There'll be some people who will think about it for a few minutes and be like, yeah, you know what, that does make sense. There are going to be some people that are absolutely not going to agree. That is what the comment section's for. Have your say, put it out there for everybody. So, ladies and gentlemen, I give you DoctorTactical's choice for the gun that everybody should have in their armamentarium. This is the Glock 23. So, the Glock, very similar to the Glock 19. Very similar. In fact, the exact same body. The only real difference are the barrel and the ejector inside. So, the Glock 23 is the 40 Smith & Wesson version of the 19. What? Why would we have a 40 Smith & Wesson version? 40's done. Nobody uses 40 anymore. You know what? Ammo was hard to come by. You get what you can get when times get lean, and you want something you can change. And a simple purchase changes the barrel. And the ejector that I commented on makes, so far for me, has made zero difference. For years, I've fired this with a 9mm barrel in it. Notice the barrel, kind of hard to see. I'm going to try and... It is a much thicker barrel than the 40. It's thicker because it has to fill that area. But for that reason, you can't take a 9mm barrel... you can't take a 9mm like the 19 and put a 40 caliber barrel in it. So it only goes in one direction, from larger to smaller. So let's clarify what I was saying there. If we look at the 40 caliber right here, compared to the 9mm Glock right here, you can see the barrel is significantly wider. The lumen of the barrel, the internal aspect, is wider than the 9mm because a 40 caliber is wider than a 9mm. So we can, this is a threaded 9mm barrel. I think this is Lone Wolf. This one I know is Lone Wolf. This is just a 9mm barrel. Both of these are for the .40 caliber. And if you look, you can see the lumen, the internal aspect of the 9mm barrel built for the .40. On the outside, the perimeter, the circumference is the same as the .40 Smith & Wesson barrel here, but the internal aspect of it, the circumference in there, the lumen in there, is the equivalent of the circumference of the 9mm barrel right here. But notice how much thicker this barrel is, so that it can fit and the barrel doesn't just rattle around. If you just took the 9mm barrel here and you put it into the .40, because the outer perimeter, the circumference there, is significantly smaller than the circumference of the .40, the external portion of it, this barrel is going to just rattle around like crazy. But you put a chunk of metal like this in there, first of all, you got a nice chunk of metal. It's a nice barrel. And then second of all, it now can shoot a 9mm and is nice and accurate and locked in there. Also, this, the one I was showing you, is actually a threaded 9mm, so you can change it around. But you can see, same thing. But you can see how it thickens as it goes back to where it will engage. And this is actually similar to the 9. But you can't put this into the 9 because the side of the barrel is significantly wider than the hole which the barrel fits in. It's the equivalent of the .40 Smith & Wesson. Hopefully this just cleared it up for you all. I'll show you one more thing. Actually, you guys have been such a good audience and I feel so close to you. I'm going to show you more than one more thing. I will show you, this is the 9mm barrel in the .40 Smith & Wesson Glock 23. Again, the internal aspect of that barrel is identical to the internal aspect of this 9mm, but the external of this barrel is the same as the external of the .40 Smith & Wesson barrel. And in addition, here we've got the 9mm barrel in the Glock 23, which is threaded and fit to the .40 Smith & Wesson external portion. So you really can see what a flexible platform the Glock 23 is. The 19 is a flexible platform too, but the 23 adds an additional dimension by looking at additional calibers being brought into play here. So this is pretty cool. One other point of interest that I discussed briefly, but kind of want to show in a little more detail, is the ejector, or ejectors, I should say, because they are slightly different. You can put one in the other, but they have different ejectors, and that's important to note. I have never switched an ejector in one of these, and I've used 9mm and .40, as I said before, in the .40 without problem. But just so you can see the difference I'm talking about, right here on your left-hand side of the screen is the Glock 19, and right here on your right-hand side is the Glock 23. Let me see if I can show these extractors. All right, so here on the 19, you can see there's sort of some curvature to it, a little twist, whereas on the 23, it's very straight, just straight, coming right down. And so, again, these don't seem to make a difference as far as the ability for them to eject, but I just wanted you to see it. So that makes a huge difference. This gun's capable of shooting .40. It's capable of shooting 9 with a simple barrel change. I recommend doing a magazine change too, but it takes both magazines. and the ejector seems to make no difference. I have shot everything through this. I've shot high-end ammo, I've shot crap ammo, I've shot, I say this at the risk of losing warranty, not through this one, but I've shot reloaded ammo. I would never do that in this because I have a warranty that I want to respect. Anyway, it's never failed me. Now, I've limp wristed. Sorry, that's happened. But that's on me, not on the gun. So I think this gun, for the reasons that I said for the 23, which is it's ubiquitous. You know, you can get a holster for this. There are tons of holsters out there for the Glock, for the 19 body, the 23 body. It's the same. There are tons of aftermarket sights and back plates and triggers and everything you could possibly want. They make it for Glock. So the 23, the mere fact that it can shoot 2 different calibers takes it to another level, in my opinion. So there you have it. I opened the floor up. I'm interested in your opinions. I thank you for your time. And Dr. Tactical, out.